Let's take a look at the Giants and the Mets. It's been a great series so far, going back and forth. Today, we've got Anthony DeSclafani going for the Giants, who's 0-0 with a 4.32 against Carlos Carrasco, who is also 0-0 with a .84 ERA. It's been a great start to the season for Carrasco. Yesterday, Giants winning 5-2. Before that, it was the Mets taking 2 games of the doubleheader in dramatic fashion. Max Scherzer had a no-no going deep in the game and also a walk-off single from Francisco Lindor. So, Jenks, what jumps off the page to you when you see Giants Mets?
Maybe it's not smart, but I'm going to fade DeSclafani here. I know he's a very good pitcher, but he hasn't been exceptional in his first 2 starts. He's been hit hard. He's given up 13 hits. And in his career against the Mets, Chelsea, he's 0-3 with a 5.40 ERA. So historically, not good against this team. And remember, the Giants used 4 relievers yesterday, so I think that pin's going to be a little worn out as well. I'll take the Mets on the money line minus 135.
Let's look at the total. It's 7.5, a pretty low total, but not quite as low as we've seen the totals in these other games, as we've seen some 6.5s. But I'm not sure if these 2 pitchers warrant this low of a total. You've talked about Anthony DeSclafani. I know Carlos Carrasco has had a couple of good games to start the season, but also those were against the Diamondbacks and the Nationals, who are not 2 of the greater hitting teams in all of baseball. So I think I'd lean towards an over here.
Okay. You can talk me, particularly because of the bullpen. I think the way this game plays out, or at least the way I hope it plays out, is that Cookie Carrasco continues his great start to the season. Maybe DeSclafani can match him a little bit earlier, but then the Mets can get to that Giants pen, which has been good thus far. The Giants and Mets are tied right now for the best ERA in baseball, so both of these stats have been unbelievable to begin the year. But I think they're going to be the Giants a little bit tired from last night, so that makes me lean Mets. I think I'll put a sprinkle on the money line.
And also, when you're getting to the later games of these series, we have seen the same relievers, and familiarity is a good thing when you are a hitter. When you're seeing the same guys over and over, eventually you're going to figure out what they're throwing. You're going to get their timing down. And so I think for 7.5, that's the other thing. You're playing the total. 7.5, really low for any game on the board. So I think eventually this one is probably going to go over. Moving on to the White Sox and the Indians. Indians home dogs here, plus 115. White Sox minus 140. Total of 8 runs. Dylan Cease takes the bump for the Southsiders with a 1.69 ERA and 2-0 on the year with Zach Plesac facing against him. He's 0-1 with a 1.64 ERA. Guardians swept the doubleheader yesterday, 11-1 and 2-1. So do you think the luck changes for the White Sox today?
I do. I think a lot of people are going to look at this pitching matchup and they're going to see Plesac and they're going to grab some plus money with the home dog and the Indians. But I think it's the wrong side. Dylan Cease has been unbelievable thus far. He struck out 16 over 10 and 2/3 innings in his first 2 starts. And the White Sox, as a favorite this season, are 6-1. I think this is a good bounce back spot for them. So I'll lay the little juice. I don't think it's a price that's too expensive. So give me Chicago minus 140. I think it's worth laying.
I'm on the White Sox boat as well, especially because Dylan Cease has turned into one of the better strikeout pitchers in all of baseball. The knock on Dylan Cease was in the years before this is, he strikes out a lot of batters, but he also will surrender some walks. He'll give up some runs, and he doesn't necessarily go deep in these games. But the White Sox do have a good bullpen. It's a little worn down since Dallas Keuchel gave up, a 9 spot in one of these games against the Indians. But I think this is too good of a White Sox lineup. And they've got the better pitcher in this one, so I would lean towards the White Sox as well, especially since they're under that minus 150 threshold. Out to the AL East, where the Blue Jays are taking on the Red Sox. It's Blue Jays minus 115, total of 9. Kevin Gausman going for the BJs, 0-1 with a 4.22 ERA against Tanner Huck, 1-0 with a 3 ERA. Rubber match of the 3-game series yesterday, Blue Jays winning it 6-1. On paper, looks like Kevin Gausman is the better pitcher, but that's not the only thing that is involved in these baseball games. So, Jenks, where are you leaning here?
I think I'm going to go under 9. This line open, at least the total open at 9.5. It's been bet down to 9. And I'm doing this just based on primarily based on injuries. George Springer left the lineup for Toronto yesterday, got hit by a pitch, so he has a forearm bruise. We don't know if he's going to go today. JD Martinez left the game for Boston yesterday. He's got tightness in his adductor muscle. So you're talking about two big bats, one on each side, who may not play. I think that's a factor here and why this total is coming down. And then Tanner Huck, much better in his career at Fenway Park. He has an ERA of 2.54. I expect Gausman to round into form for the Jays. That's why they brought him in. So I'm on the under here.
I think the square play for me is playing the Blue Jays, the short favorites here, just because I know Kevin Gausman has had kind of a slow start to the season, but still overall the better pitcher here in my eyes. I still don't fully trust the Red Sox bullpen either, especially against this Blue Jays offense that even without George Springer, they still have plenty of power potential in that lineup to take things off the railings for the Red Sox.